everybody, welcome to my studio. Here I am in deepest, darkest Kent in England, in my lovely garden studio, and we're having a heat wave right now. I have been working on a really gorgeous piece of art which I wanted to show you, and I wanted to demonstrate to you how I created it step by step. So this is the piece. It doesn't have a name yet. Okay, so it's gold leaf, imitation gold leaf. It's large, it's size A1, and it's painted in the chinoiserie style. And I know it's very fashionable, and I've been obsessed with it since about 2017. And so what I wanted to do today was tell you a little about how I first came across the chinoiserie style, what the aesthetic is all about, and if you're interested, how you might be able to capture some of that in your own artwork. Another huge inspiration of mine is a company called Gournay. This book is incredible. An amazing company that creates hand-painted wall coverings, which are absolutely divine. And I had the biggest compliment ever when I first started painting in chinoiserie style. And somebody said to me, "Oh, it reminds me of de Gournay." And I was like, "What's that?" And then found it. So yeah, just absolutely incredible inspiration. Beautiful wall coverings in the traditional style. It's just endless. Oh, I mean, look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a little chit chat about chinoiserie. Really not a history lesson or anything. And some of the inspiration or how it started for me and where I'm trying to take it and ideas that I can give you, tips, tricks. Let's do it together. Okay, so I hope you watch, enjoy, and if you do, maybe subscribe. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say, chinoiserie style top today, chinoiserie style a cup. Okay, so I'm channeling the whole thing. So let's do it. It was back in 2017 that I first visited Brighton Pavilion, and it was actually rather overwhelming. We walked into all these extraordinary rooms, surrounded by exotic chinoiserie, just so beautiful and intricate, dazzling gilded details. I mean, it was like stepping into a dream. Birds, blossoms, fantastical scenes, and all of which really resonated with me because I'd already been painting murals at the time in a similar style. So yeah, I just felt passionately, I want to know more. This is absolutely wonderful. So a little bit about Brighton Pavilion. It was originally built and designed in the early 19th century during the reign of George IV, and he was fascinated by Chinese and East Asian art. And the pavilion's chinoiserie decorations were the work of artists like Frederick Crace and Robert Jones, who blended imagined Oriental motifs with British craftsmanship and Regency opulence. And in fact, if you're in the UK, I mean, it's really one of the best examples of where you can find this chinoiserie wallpapers on display. So as soon as I returned home, I painted my first chinoiserie style canvas, and here it is. And looking back, it feels like the beginning of something much bigger. So in today's piece, which you'll see unfold in this video, I want to carry through that same spark of enchantment and inspired not only by tradition of chinoiserie, but also just something wonderful and really intricately beautiful. I've covered the canvas with this gorgeous new imitation gold leaf that I've just received from a supplier in China, and it's so glittery and sparkly. I absolutely love it, so I'll be making a video about that very soon. So to start with, what I do is I literally, take a deep breath, be really brave. I take a paintbrush with some white acrylic and I just start painting my branches. So I've drawn myself a little design, but to be honest, I just do it by sort of instinct really. So I wanted to have some kind of loose branches, which I'm going to build onto with layers of blossom, and I'm going to add somewhere, I'm going to add at least one bird and possibly a butterfly. Over the course of my creating this piece, you will see as I move location how much the gold leaf changes in different light. So here I am in the garden, and we've got this really heavy-duty reflective sheen, whereas before, where I was in my living room in the evening, it's quite soft. And yeah, so something to is an absolute delight of gold leaf art is how much it changes in every light. Anyway, since we're having such a gorgeous summer, I thought I'm going to have to paint outside. Of course, the only downside is that acrylics dry out so quickly in the sun, so that was a problem. At this stage, I would say that I've basically mapped out my branches and my blossom, and my only later decisions will be about whether to include the bird and where to put it. So here she is in my garden, and I want to keep everything to a very soft, muted palette. So on the branches, I've just used like white, grey, and a sort of titanium buff colour. And before I start painting the blossom with more detail, I need to paint a second coat because I want a really opaque base so that my colours are strong, okay, because the gold leaf shows through a lot. It's quite satisfying painting the second coat, but it takes a long time. I'm painting al fresco again, but this time in a really soft light of the evening. And I'm using a rigger brush, which, you know, I harp on about this brush all the time, but it's absolutely amazing. So I use this thin outlining brush to create my delicate branches, and I'm using darker colours at the end of the branches just so that they really look quite strong against the blossom. Get ready because we are about to see a major difference in the gold leaf, because now it's nighttime, I'm painting inside, and I've got quite a strong overhead light, and you can see how really glittery and sparkly this gold leaf is. I mean, I really love it. It's quite blingy, but that's something that I love, but some people wouldn't. Here is my lovely little dog Luna. I mean, she's 14 and a half now, bless her, and I really used to include her quite a lot in my earlier videos, but she's not so up for it these days. So I'm starting on the blossom, and I'm literally just shading with two colours. I'm just using white and warm grey, which is like a really, really useful sandy colour. And as I said, I wanted to lean into the kind of historical look of chinoiserie. So I'm going to keep my blossom with this kind of very soft, muted, old-fashioned palette. But then I'm going to add a little surprise to it when it's finished. Acrylics really need two coats, so when I've applied a second coat to my blossom, which quite frankly is incredibly laborious, but it's worth it. And then I'm going to use this metallic, it is a gold, but it's quite a greyish gold actually. And I'm going to add a little dot of that into the centerpiece of each flower. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint myself some sample blossoms on a piece of paper, and I'm going to figure out how I am going to create the details inside each flower. So I'm going to sort of experiment with 4 different ideas and then decide, okay, which one am I going to use? I wish I could ask you, but it's too late. I've done it. I actually have a mural in my bedroom of some blossom branches and it's got glitter on it. But I've never ever done glitter before since then on a chinoiserie painting. So I am, because this gold leaf has such a sparkly quality, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to add a bit of glitter. So I'm trying a bit of pink, a coppery colour, and then gold. And then I've got to literally sit there and decide which one to use. So let's see. I've decided to use some of that dark gold paint to create some soft little leaves, just to add a little bit of extra richness to the branches and more detail. And then, as I said, I'm adding it as a centerpiece to each flower, and shortly you're going to see what I decided to do with the inside of the blossom. Right, having a cup of Earl Grey in my lovely Chinoiserie-style cup, and I am going to create a stylized bird. And I paint a lot of very realistic birds, but I also love just creating my own little stylized birds. And again, I'm going to try and resist not adding too much colour. I'm going to keep it quite pale and soft. This is where things get really fiddly. I've got the absolute minute brush and I've made a pale pink, and I've decided to go with the pink lines coming out from the center of the flower and then some gold glittery dots. I mean, honestly, the level of intricacy and detail is ridiculous. Considering, I mean, it really isn't that visible until you get really close, but If you're a perfectionist like me, then go add more tiny details as much as you like. I'm sure it would have looked just as good without the pink lines. And then what I need to do is I need to dip another tiny brush in some glue and add little dots of glue which I can put the glitter onto, and then that's going to be so fun adding the glitter. Time to pour on the glitter onto all these little dots, and it's going to be the best fun ever, just revealing how it looks afterwards. I know glitter's not to everyone's taste, but yeah, I'm a big fan of it. I'm so happy I decided to use gold glitter on my blossom. I really love the finished effect, and all of this loose glitter I can save and use another time. I did decide to have a little delicate flying butterfly, and I used the same pink for the wings that I used in the blossom flowers. And when I come to paint the bird here, I'm going to just use a few colours along with black and white, and just try and keep it lovely and soft like the branches, the blossom, but just slightly different palette. I love working with acrylics, and it is probably my favourite medium, but I do love all paints. And I've actually created an online course about how to get started with acrylic painting, because I teach art to adults in real life, and you know, acrylics are so versatile, and often people might have some materials at home but they don't really know how to get started. So I've created an online course, my first one, and I'm going to link the details in the description, just in case you're somebody that is wanting to get into painting. Maybe you've never painted, maybe it's been like decades, and I'm going to help you get started and literally start you on that journey to painting. That dark metallic gold paint that I used for the leaves and the flowers has actually been incredibly useful, because it's really subtle against the gold leaf, and I decided to use it to create some details on the lovely little butterfly. I have finished my creation, and here she is in all different lights, outside, inside, daylight, nighttime. Something so magical about gold leaf, which is why I'm truly obsessed with it, is how it can change the atmosphere and light in your space. So I say give it a go, and I know lots of you do, and you want to learn more about gold leaf. So check out all my other tutorials which are going to show you how to apply the gold leaf to a canvas and get started. Thank you so much for being here with me. I really hope you've appreciated the tuition and the inspiration, and hopefully I'll see you back again soon. Bye.